murder, intrigue, bribery. If you're anything like me, then the first thing that came to your mind was the Pope. But I challenge you to imagine a world without the Pope. A world in which that cute little vehicle thingy would never have come to exist. Hello, fellow mammals. Today, we'll be exploring that world as we strive to dismantle the papacy in a single lifetime. And who better to dismantle the papacy than Jesus Christ himself? Now, unfortunately, Crusader Kings 3 doesn't allow you to play as an American, so this Jesus won't be 100% accurate. We'll just have to play as Denmark instead. But we can alter his appearance a little bit to make it... there we go. Just right. Now that we're completely accurate, or as accurate as the game will let us be, it's time to start. Now we need to establish a base in Italy, so to speak. So we need somewhere in the region that will allow us to have diplomatic range to all other parts of Italy, and it looks like Venice is going to be that perfect spot. Alright, and we're going to declare victory. We'll also increase the power of our murder schemes. This is going to come in handy very often. Napoli seems to be the weakest county, so we're going to go after them first. A quick side note, this is Federigo. We're going to grant him a couple of counties because he's a genius with some nice stats. Just remember him for later. Okay, we're going to enforce our demands on Napoli, and then quickly turn around and declare war on Salerno. Again, time is of the essence here. I've attempted this challenge a couple times already, and it's not actually taking the territory that's hard. The difficulty of this challenge comes from taking all of the territories you need before your ruler dies. Alright, pause. Now, this was actually a huge turning point in this challenge. A light bulb went off. I realized that if I could research onagers, I could greatly increase the siege speed and, in effect, speed up my run through Italy. Now, I just need to become the cultural head. To do this, we would have to subjugate our neighbor, Jarl Sigurd. God damn it. Bob. We'd have to subjugate Bob. Jesus Christ. Now, remember that vassal I told you about? Federigo? Well, Chieftain Federigo wants independence from me now. Well, bad news, Federigo. There's only one way that you get to be independent around here. In the words of Jesus, love your neighbor, pay your tithings, and don't ever think you can be independent from me. We've won the subjugation war against Bob, so now we should become the cultural head at the beginning of the new year. We're also going to form a new kingdom. This does cost a significant amount of gold and prestige. However, having a kingdom title will not only increase our prestige in the long run, but allow us to form duchy titles and grant them to vassals, decreasing the amount of direct vassals we have to worry about. So it should be worth it in the long run. So we're going to go through and grant titles around, except Bob here is kind of messing with our stability. So we'll do the only Christly thing possible, murder him, and then grant the Jarldom to whichever of his kids likes us the most. And there we go. Now we've got culture head. We can begin research on onagers. Okay. I know I have whole of body, but I'm not really sure that we have 75 more years in the tank. Alright, so after a little research, I found out that your personal learning skill can actually affect the speed at which you discover cultural fascinations. So, we're going to switch over to scholarly focus, and we're really going to focus on scientific and scholarly circles. In the meantime, we need to make sure that we keep conquering pieces of Italy and keep this train moving. Alright, our vassal Bob has died and we had nothing to do with it. Fortune smiles on us once again. Now, we'll just pick the child that likes us the most, and congratulations! You're now a Jarl. Good job. We're also going to devote ourselves to Freyr, because this will increase our fertility by 25% and our control growth by 0.1 per month. Now, fertility is important here because we want to keep having babies. The more children we can have, the more alliances we can form. And I want to boost my control growth because one of the problems with quick expansion is the amount of peasant uprisings you'll start to get. So I'll take any amount of help against that I can get. Okay, so we've been called upon to banish our wife. This isn't something that I was immediately happy about because we're going to lose one of our powerful alliances. However, I just realized that this would be a great opportunity to speed up our cultural fascination. We're going to divorce our wife, and then we're going to find a new wife with a high learning skill. Now, we are going to have to pay a hefty fine and prestige. However, I think that our 23 learning more than makes up for that. And look, we just went from 9 learning to 20, an 11-point gain simply by marrying someone else. And now onagers will be done in only 50 years, which is a much more doable time frame. Okay, let's go ahead and form this alliance, and this one too. Now look at that, our first learning perk. We're going to put that into scientific, and now onagers are going to be in 40 years. So that timeline keeps on whittling down. Okay, so if we look at Sardinia, we can see that it's controlled by 2 different counts. However, when I come over to title succession, we can see that Judaic Arzoku is actually second in line to inherit the county. So, we're going to participate in a little finagling to speed that inheritance up. This will then allow us to just declare war for the whole duchy, which will be a much faster process than trying to take each individual county. Also, it seems a few counts have become independent from Italy, so we'll quickly take advantage of that. Alright, it seems that Judaic Costanza was not able to walk on water. Maybe his son will have better luck. Judaic Pantaloon will never grow up or understand the world around him. It was apparently simple. A sharp iron needle against the ear, easily piercing the soft skin And no, it turns out Judaic Pantaloo wasn't faithful enough either. Unfortunately, we've gained the trait Murderer, but this just highlights the hypocrisy that we've come to fight against. Destroy the entire world with a massive flood that kills nearly everything in existence and no one bats an eye, but order the execution of a single toddler and suddenly you're a depraved villain. Preposterous. On the bright side, now that Judaic Pantaloo is out of the way, Sardinia has become united, and we will be able to declare war for the entire duchy, so let's go ahead and do that. Additionally, we were able to complete an excellent translation, giving us 1 free learning lifestyle perk. We're going to put that into scholarly circles, and this is great for the Asatru faith. Basically, we gain 2 learning per level of devotion. And with the Asatru faith, we can gain piety just by executing prisoners, which we have been getting plenty of. Who knew executions could be so educational? And our son, Lord, has lost the sickly trait. Things are really starting to look up for the family of Christ. Anyway, now that we've conquered Sardinia, we're going to ransom our vassal for 50 gold. Then, we'll grant the duchy away, so that we no longer have to worry about that vassal hating us. And here's a great example of what makes this challenge hard. Prince Pando owns 3 counties, none of which are united by a duchy, meaning that the minimum, with a 5-year truce between each war won, will take 15 years just to conquer these 3 counties. That's why it's so crucial that we declare multiple wars at once, break up titles so that many people own titles instead of one person owning many titles, and that we rush onagers so that we can reduce the amount of time wasted sieging baronies. Now, time for the big moment. Time to declare war on the Pope. He must have some mystical powers on his side though, because almost immediately we contract tuberculosis, which gives some huge debuffs to our stats and a severe health penalty. This was actually the most scary part of the playthrough, as I was sure my run was going to come to an end. And on top of this, the Pope was calling in some serious firepower with 2,000 mercenaries, causing us to lose the first few battles. And if you didn't know, losing battles in Crusader Kings can have a serious snowball effect. We've also unlocked another learning lifestyle perk. And as much as I would love to continue on our path to Scholar, we need to take anatomical studies this time, as it gives our physician treatments better outcomes. And we definitely won't be completing this challenge if we die from TB. Alright, we've won Latium, and even though we're above our domain limit, I'm going to keep these counties for myself. And would you look at that? We've gotten rid of the tuberculosis. Not even a bloody cough can hold Jesus down. And now that we're not sick anymore, we're going to continue putting perks into the Scholar tree with a little more confidence. Since these prisoners can't really give us any money, we're just going to execute them and take the piety gain, which in turn will help increase our learning stats. Now, I wasn't paying attention to exactly what happened, but this is actually a huge stroke of luck. For whatever reason, it seems that Italy is broken up quite significantly, meaning that not only will our opponents be weaker, but we shouldn't have to worry about truce cooldowns as much either. So let's go ahead and declare war for the Duchy of Tuscany and County of Foggia. And while that's happening, we're going to start promoting our culture in Latium. I'm hoping to accomplish two things from this. One is to increase popular opinion by having the same culture, meaning, hopefully, less uprisings in Latium. Secondly, I believe that higher development leads to faster cultural innovation. So by having more highly developed counties sharing our culture, hopefully we should also be increasing our research speed. And now we're going to take advantage of all those smaller rulers. Declaring multiple wars at once can be risky, but because my armies are so big compared to theirs, I'll be able to split up my armies among 4 different rulers and then conquer them somewhat simultaneously, which will speed up our conquest through Italy. Now we're going to go for the herbalist trait, which will give us a +2 to learning and a small disease resistance boost. So now our learning is at 29, and there's only 19 years left to discover onagers. Okay, it looks like we're going to lose this battle, so here's a trick I like to use when fighting in my own territory. If you have the gold, I like to move my rally point close to the battle site, hire a group of mercenaries, and then send them in to bolster my numbers. It can be expensive, but it can also keep you from that snowball effect that I was talking about earlier. And you get to keep the mercenaries for 3 years. So I found it useful in quite a few situations. Mystical knowledge, and it looks like we're going to get a free learning perk out of it, which is huge. So let's go ahead and take learn on the job. 20% of our counselor's skills is crazy. Watch the jump my stats are going to make. That's crazy good. And now our onagers should be complete in only 14 years. We're only 49 and this is becoming more and more doable. Now, Italy is still worrying me, and I'm thinking that if there's a reason that we fail this run, it's going to be because of how much land Italy controls and how little we'll be able to take over per war. We've called a hunt and have a chance to gain 150 prestige and a hunting trophy, which will add 0.5 to our monthly prestige for only 35 gold. So this is kind of a no-brainer. Okay, finish off the nudist over here, and we'll go ahead and take over the High Chiefdom and one of Byzantine's counties over here, which we'll call in our ally to help with. Should have put some clothes on. Damn, hippies.
Is everybody okay?
Well, the fucking hippies aren't.
Okay, the Byzantines have made it over before our allies, and it seems like they were able to cobble together a few more forces than what they started with. So we're going to go ahead and start a murder scheme against their emperor, Constantinopolis. And while all this is happening, we have a peasant revolt back in Denmark. Honestly, I can't be bothered to send troops back north, so we're just going to hire some mercenaries. Well, now that Mr. Constantinople is dead, time to take out his son. He's delicate anyway, so it was either me or the birds would probably carry him off. Alright, now that my ally has arrived, we can take out this Byzantine army. And look, he died eating pudding. I'll be honest, that seems like a pretty good way to go. And now with the scholar trait. Our learning has gone from 35 to 42, and we only have 8 years left until we discover onagers. Now let's go ahead and murder Basilissa Maria, because honestly, just fuck the Byzantines. They found her mangled corpse on the ground. Her young face was permanently twisted into an expression of surprise and terror. Nice. So now we're going to declare war on Italy for this duchy, Lombardy, as well as these 2 independent counties. Okay, and look, this is a huge stroke of luck. A Catholic uprising has actually just displaced the Italian throne, resulting in huge swaths of land becoming independent. This is actually just the kind of break that we needed. We're going to enforce our demands on the now Sardinia, and then we're going to start taking all these smaller independent counties. Okay, awesome, and we finally discovered onagers. So look at this. Our siege just went from 9 months without onagers to 6 months with them. This is a huge gain, as it's going to allow us to sweep through counties much faster than before. We're going to go ahead and declare these wars, and we'll just work our armies from south to north, and I'm going to go ahead and create another onager unit as well, so that we have multiple armies with that sieging bonus. Now, the Byzantines do still hold one of the counties we need, and they're still pretty formidable, so I'm going to go ahead and start the murder scheme in preparation for war. Look at that, too easy. So here we can see that the Sardinians own 3 counties, a duchy, and a kingdom title. So the plan is to take their duchy title and then usurp their kingdom title, which will cause the remaining counties to go to different leaders, which we can then take without worrying about truce cooldowns. Now, we did go ahead and murder the Sardinian king. I was hoping that it would split his titles and be cheaper than the 500 gold that it cost to usurp, but it didn't. And look at that, we've broken them up into 2 different rulers. And finally, we're able to enforce our demands on the Byzantines. This is awesome, as they were definitely our biggest threat. So now we're just going to take the last few remaining regions and start a murder steam on Miss Margarita. And look, we didn't even need to do any murdering. She was snuffed out by her own rolls of fat. Now, we just need to take this last county, and there we have it. At the mere age of 74, we, Jesus of House Christ, have dismantled the Papacy. The heartland of their faith has been conquered with the favor of our gods, that being the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Their dead God could not protect them after all. Only our Lord and Savior has the power to protect. And with that, I'm declaring this challenge complete. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. This video took a lot of time to complete, and every interaction really means a lot to me. Thanks for watching, and have a blessed day.